Beatles fans followed the long and winding road to downtown Kent over the weekend. The full breakdown on the event that had the community come together.
There were big steps taken today in honor of Amir Locke. We have updates of the on-campus protest.
And Kent State is celebrating LeBron James today, the All-Star action that led to a big donation.
Let's get shamrockin' ready for the Lucky Shakes coming your way as TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good evening, Kent State and all of Portage County. Thank you for joining us for this Monday edition of TV2 News. I'm Elias Shingleton.
And I'm Raygene English. We begin tonight with a recap of this past weekend's All-Star game in Cleveland.
Team LeBron scored big as NBA All-Stars tore up the court in Cleveland over the weekend.
Olivia Sharp has more on how current and future Kent State students are benefiting from the charitable event. Hi, Olivia.
Hi, guys. That's right. All-Star Weekend was full of great events, but last night's All-Star Game was special for a unique reason. Sunday night, LeBron James played in the NBA's All-Star Game for a charity close to home. The Kent State I Promise Scholars is a program that provides higher education to the graduates of LeBron's I Promise School in Akron.
These are students who started in the very first class of LeBron's students. So third grade, they started in the third grade. And here they are, freshmen at Kent State.
Last night's game held a deeper meaning for the scholars.
I definitely think it's going to help to influence more people coming to Kent State as well, whether it'll be like I Promise kids or just other kids who want to attend college.
He's playing for us and he's out there on the court showing out for us. It's an honor.
After winning the first and third quarters as well as the game itself, Team LeBron won $450,000 for the I Promise Scholars.
And so what this money means is that this group of I Promise Scholars will be able to have their dorm paid for the next 3 years.
On top of winning the money, the I Promise Scholars got an experience they'll never forget.
Court, LeBron sees me and makes his arms big. And I went to him and I'm crying and I was like, you don't know what this, and he's like, I know, girl, this is amazing. This is so great.
It's just crazy seeing a lot of people and shaking their hands and actually talking to them. It's just a great experience.
To learn more about the I Promise Scholar programs and how to support them, visit kent.edu/ipromise. Reporting from the TV2 News Studio, I'm Olivia Sharp.
Thanks, Olivia. Now, the Alliance for Marginalized People held a march today on Kent State's campus in support of Amir Locke, a black man killed as a result of a no-knock warrant.
Our Laura Lemke has more on the day's demonstrations.
Show me what solidarity looks like. This is what solidarity looks like.
Kent State's Alliance of Marginalized People marched from the Mack Center to the Rock in protest of no-knock warrants following the death of Amir Locke.
And we're here because no one deserves to live in that fear. No one deserves to feel that kind of hatred and brutality.
The group known as AMP, formerly Threads, organized this peaceful protest. They focus on minority groups that often face discrimination and speak out against injustices.
We're about having a sense of unity amongst marginalized groups, solidarity when it comes to all those intersectionalities of identity.
Amir Locke was killed in his home after police executed a no-knock warrant. Locke's death comes about a year after the death of Breonna Taylor, who was killed in a similar manner.
We were like, has anyone on Kent campus done anything? And we were like, well, no. And then we were like, what is stopping us from doing something?
Kent State currently has over 350 student organizations, and AMP is not the only group holding protests. The Students for a Democratic Society marched for reproductive rights earlier this month.
At the age that we are right now, we're all going through this change of becoming our own people, even more than we were before.
Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Laura Lemke.
The Best of Kent is back for spring 2022. Kent Wired is giving you the opportunity to make your voice heard in its next edition. You can vote for your favorite establishments in Kent on kentwire.com, and voting ends on March 2nd.
Ohio U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown sat down in an exclusive TV2 interview to discuss the agenda of Democrats in Congress, like canceling student debt. slowing inflation, and improving infrastructure. Brown says congressional Republicans need to become more independent and solve issues affecting the lives of Americans. Take a look at this TV2 exclusive.
One of the most disappointing things in my career is to watch so many U.S. senators who were elected as their own people and took an oath of office, how they have just been spineless when it comes to President Trump.
For more information, this TV2 exclusive interview with Senator Brown, tune into Portage County's only political show, Portage Pulse, at 3 p.m. this Friday on TV2 News.
Law school is now more attainable for Kent State students through a new partnership with Cleveland State. A new 6-year degree program will allow Kent State students to earn a bachelor's degree from Kent State and obtain admission to CSU's Marshall College of Law. Students who attend 3 years at Kent State will then complete 3 years in the Juris Doctor program, earning both degrees along the way. The program will be available to students in the political science and public health majors and will begin later this year.
A growing number of families and young adults are finding themselves homeless in Portage County, with the COVID-19 pandemic being a part of the cause. There are many resources in Portage County working hard to help in this growing concern. Kent State University's Care Center helps aid teens and young adults that are facing a housing crisis. There's also the Haven of Portage County that opened for tours and hopes to start serving the homeless soon. Portage County, Ohio Means Jobs Division works hard on trying to get jobs for the homeless people in need.
Hudson City Manager Jane Howington has reached an agreement with the City Council to resign her position next month. Council reached the agreement at a February 8th meeting originally convened to suspend Howington. The City Manager is an unelected position who serves at the discretion of the City Council. Howington has held the position since 2014.
What's up, Portage County? I'm Josh Aponte, and let's take a look at what's going on here in Kent. Right now, we're sitting really warm, actually. 52 degrees, partly cloudy. It's not bad at all right now in Kent. So if you want to go take a walk, get some exercise, you should probably do that today. And then there is a little bit of wind, 7 miles per hour, but not too bad here in Kent. Now let's take a look at some temperatures around here in Ohio. So towards the west of Ohio, we're sitting really warm, actually. 58 in Cincy, 61 in Columbus. That's like shorts weather, crazy. And then towards the east, we are a little bit chillier, but almost the same. 59 in Athens and 53 in Akron. Now let's take a look and zoom in to see what's going on here in northeast Ohio. Almost around the same, a little bit more chilly though. 47 in Sandusky, 52 in Mansfield. We're really just sitting at those mid to lower 50s right now. And 53 in Canton, and we're sitting at that 52 in Kent. That's all I have for right now, but be sure that you stay tuned to see what's popping in the weather this week. For TV2, I'm Josh Aponte.
Beatle fans descended on downtown Kent over the weekend to hear cover bands play a variety of the Fab Four's classic tracks.
TV2's Alexa Blakely joins us with the details from today's hard night that took place last weekend.
That's right, guys. Beatlefest featured bands performing live music at 15 different venues across downtown Kent, thanks to the sponsorship of Wayside Furniture. I went to the event to learn more. This past Friday, downtown Kent took it back to the 60s for a taste of Beatlemania.
It's amazing what's happening right now with the Beatles and so much resurgence, with the new generation, and they're just living on and on and on, and this is just wonderful to play this.
The Beatles still have an influence today.
It's part of, even though it was born in Britain, it's so much a part of Americana as well, and so many musicians were influenced by the Beatles.
Crowds came out for the celebration of the British invasion.
I went my freshman year. I'm a junior now, and it was always a fun time, like listening to live music, having a cup of apple cider for me, but it's a lot of fun.
It was called Beatles Fest, so naturally I was going to go since I basically live, eat, breathe, sleep the Beatles. So, it had Beatles in the names, and I figured people would be playing Beatles music, and I like Beatles music, so I came out here to see it.
All I can say is, who needs assignments when you can listen to good music on a Friday night?
And the Beatles mean something different to everyone.
It's kind of second nature to me, you know. I've learned to play the guitar playing Beatle tunes. So.
I listen to them, and I just feel happy and at ease. Like, they're just such a comfort for me.
I would see like someone a band playing and actually people enjoying and stuff. So it's kind of a beautiful atmosphere to like just join in.
Beatlefest is an annual tradition in Kent and is expected to reappear next year. In the Franklin Hall studio, I'm Alexa Blakely.
Another treatment for COVID-19 is on the horizon, the new study ahead.
Keep watching to find out what the U.S. plans to do about Ukraine and Russia after the break.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Welcome back. The COVID-19 pandemic is still dominating daily life and the news cycle.
TV2's Jason Cohen joins us now with a rundown on the recent headlines in today's Coronavirus Health Minute. Hi, Jason.
Hi, guys. That's right. We are 2 years into this pandemic, and unfortunately, it is still relevant, whether it is variants, vaccines, treatments, mandates, or events. Although COVID-19 cases are decreasing, there is some concern surrounding a subvariant of Omicron called BA.2, which may be more severe and transmissible. A recent Japanese study was the first to compare these two versions of Omicron. It is still early, but these findings are certainly concerning. This subvariant is being called stealth Omicron because it does not look like Omicron. FDA officials are suggesting a fourth dose of the COVID-19 vaccine may be necessary closer to fall. Because fall is typically when people get flu shots, the same may be true for an additional COVID booster. Currently, a fourth shot is only recommended for immunocompromised people. Both the FDA and CDC must agree before recommending a fourth vaccine dose for the general public. According to a study published Friday from JAMA Internal Medicine, ivermectin does not appear to prevent severe COVID-19 illness. This study focused on approximately 500 patients who are at least 50 years old and at high risk of the virus. During a 5-day trial, half were given ivermectin and the other half a placebo, and the differences in results were minor. 2 previous studies from Argentina and Colombia yielded similar results. Merck's COVID-19 pill seems to be preventing hospitalizations due to COVID-19. A new study from India says Merck's antiviral pill treatment reduced the risk of hospitalization by 65%. The study included over 1,200 people with COVID-19 who took the drug, and only 1.5% of them required hospitalization. This is in contrast to the 4.3% of those that did not take the pill. The study has not yet been peer-reviewed. Starting March 1st, Carnival Cruise Lines will be loosening its mask mandates. Although Carnival highly encourages guests to wear masks, they will not be required anymore. However, they announced that certain venues and events on board may still require masks. According to Carnival Cruise Line, roughly 13 million passengers sail with them every year. Justin Bieber was forced to postpone a performance in Las Vegas on Sunday due to a mild case of COVID-19. This was supposed to be the second show on his Justice World Tour, out of 52 stops. The tour was initially scheduled to begin March 20th, but it has been postponed for nearly 2 years due to the pandemic. Bieber is currently planning to perform in 20 different countries in the next 13 months. The canceled Las Vegas show is now scheduled for June 28th. Reporting from the Frankenhall studio, I'm Jason Cohen, TV2 News.
Thanks, Jason. Now, 3 Ohio inmates will now spend at least 3 more years on death row. Governor Mike DeWine announced Friday that 3 executions scheduled for this summer will be delayed due to a lack of supply in the drugs needed for lethal injection. DeWine stated that pharmaceutical companies are reluctant to supply the drugs in fear of improper use. All 3 executions are now scheduled for the summer of 2025.
Aaron's Law, a bill in Ohio that would limit the teaching of abuse prevention to once in middle school, and dating violence education would be taught annually in grades 6 through 12. Under the proposed law, child sexual abuse prevention counseling and other resources for children in need would be provided. The Ohio Department of Education must provide free resources to aid districts to develop curricula on sexual violence. School districts would be required to report back to parents and guardians about the lessons and allow them to review the material if requested.
Welcome back, Portage County. Now let's take a look at some weather that's coming. Oh, we're going to take a look actually at a live radar coming up right here. So, we're actually going to not do the live radar. We're going to take a look at some weather coming up here in the next couple hours. So at 10 p.m., it's going to get a little bit more chillier at 49 degrees, but cloudy skies. At midnight tonight, the temperature's going to drop by just 2 degrees. It's going to be 47. And then tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for the morning commute, it's going to be around 50 again. So it's actually going to be pretty nice and warm for this weekend here. And now we're going to take a look at our 7-day forecast. So, as I said today's just going to be cloudy. Tomorrow, though, there's going to be a 100% chance of rain. You're going to definitely have to get those umbrellas and those rain boots ready for tomorrow. Wednesday's going to be quite cloudy. And then Thursday and Friday, back to the snow grind. It's going to be quite chilly, and we're going to have snow. Watch out for that snow. We're going to have up to an inch for the snow. And then Saturday's going to be quite sunny, and Sunday it's going to be partly cloudy. Now, we are going to go to that live radar that I promised that we'd show earlier. So right now, down here in southwest Ohio, we see that precipitation that's going to be coming in with that 100% of rain coming in tomorrow. So watch out for that. And that's all I have for you. Make sure to follow us at KentWire.com for weather, news, and sports updates. For TV2 News, I'm Josh Aponte, and have a great week, Portage County.
Thank you, Josh. The U.S. have been announcing concerns over the last couple of weeks about Russia and Ukraine. They continue to release information up to date on what will happen if Russia decides to invade Ukraine.
Ukraine says Russia is trying to provoke a war. The question is, will it succeed?
As the president has said, we believe that Putin has made his decision. Period.
These satellite images show Russian troops on the move outside Ukraine. Ukraine says Russian-backed separatists are firing weapons in areas of eastern Ukraine that they occupy. The worry is they'll blame the violence on Ukraine.
Russia trying to create a series of provocations as justifications for aggression against Ukraine is going forward. Now they're justifying the continuation of exercises in quotation marks.
UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson says the result could be the biggest war in Europe since World War II. But NATO still hopes for peace. French President Emmanuel Macron continues to talk with Russian President Vladimir Putin. He's trying to set up a U.S.-Russia summit. The White House says President Joe Biden agrees to it in principle if Russia's actions start to match its words.
There is no innovation and there is no such plans.
If not,
Putin is going to be in a very serious judgment for his future, for the future of Russia, and really for the stability of the world.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Several pro-Ukraine groups gathered Sunday at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. to show support for the country amid rising tensions in the region. The demonstrations, organized by the group United Help Ukraine, began at 2 p.m. at the memorial and marched to the White House at 4 p.m. Attendees at the gathering demanded an end to Russian aggression towards Ukraine and advocated for President Biden to place economic sanctions on Russia.
President Joe Biden has agreed to meet with Russia's President Vladimir Putin as long as he holds off on launching an assault against Ukraine. That U.S. officials warn appears increasingly more likely. U.S. officials on Sunday defended their decision to hold off on their planned financial punishment of Russia ahead of any invasion after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called passionately Saturday for the West to do more.
President Biden's search for a new Supreme Court justice is underway. Interviews have started with at least one person having a sit-down with the president last week. The number of candidates being interviewed for a position on the High Court has not been released, but the White House is expected to announce the name of the final nominee within the next few days.
Learn what's shaking over at some of your favorite food places for St. Patrick's Day coming up soon in the show.
Kent State men's basketball team took on Ohio at the Mack Center for some Friday night hoops action. Find out how they fared against the Bobcats right after this.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Good job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Matt Corrali. Here's what's happening in the wide world of sports in Portage County and beyond. The Kent State men's basketball team hosted Ohio at the Mack Center and took care of business against the Bobcats, 75-52 for their 8th consecutive win. In a game that saw many Golden Flashes find the stat sheet, redshirt sophomore Giovanni Santiago and redshirt junior Malik Jacobs tied for the team high in points with 14 apiece. Kent State will host Ball State tomorrow night at the Mack Center at 7 o'clock on ESPN3. With that big win comes some accolades coming the Golden Flashes' way, as guard Sincere Carey took home the COMAC Player of the Week. The redshirt junior chipped in 23 points off the bench against Toledo and put up a 12-point performance against Ohio. Carey has been a key figure in the Golden Flashes' winning streak that is the 8th longest in the country. With good weather coming back to Kent, that can only mean one thing. Golden Flashes baseball is back. Kent State headed to the campus of Coastal Carolina to face the Chanticleers Friday and Sunday, splitting the series as they lost 13-8 Friday night and won 2-1 Sunday afternoon. Saturday they took on the likes of West Virginia but fell to the hands of the Mountaineers by the final score of 8-3. Kent State will head to Texas Tech to face off against the Red Raiders for a weekend set. First pitch is scheduled for 3 o'clock. Sunday night, the city of Cleveland had its chance to shine as it hosted the NBA All-Star game that saw Team LeBron take down Team Durant by the final score of 163-160. Lakers power forward LeBron James drilled the game winner in front of the fans that called him his own for 13 of his 19 seasons in his NBA career. The first ever NBA All-Star game Kobe Bryant MVP award went to Golden State Warriors point guard Stephen Curry, who tallied in a whopping 50 points in the arena he won his first of 3 championships with. And like Liv highlighted earlier in the show, with Team LeBron taking home the All-Star Game win, that means that $450,000 has been donated to Kent State's I Promise Scholars, a program that has been made for higher education opportunities for students in Northeast Ohio. The funds will go to expenses such as books, supplies, room and board, and more for I Promise Scholars that are staying on the campus of Kent State. Pretty cool to see Portage County in the spotlight. And that will do it for us in sports. For more TV2 sports coverage, stay tuned right here on KentWire.com for Sports Corner at 8 o'clock, and follow us across all social media at TV2 Sports. For TV2 Sports, I'm Matt Crawley, saying when the ball flies in the air, TV2 Sports will be there. Good night.
Thank you, Matt. And our new feature aimed at making Snapchat safer when it will be rolled out to devices after this short break.
The Agenda, Thursday nights at 9 at KentWire.com. Also check out our YouTube at youtube.com/TheAgendaTV2.
If you're a fan of the snap, crackle, and pop of Rice Krispies, you may have had a hard time finding them in stores recently. The popular cereal is joining a list of other grocery items impacted by supply chain issues.
In a response to fans, the maker of the cereal Kellogg stated that the shortage is due to temporary supply issues in the manufacturing process. The company did not provide a timeline for the shortage, but customers can check the Kellogg's website for availability. Snapchat has a feature that allows users to share their current locations with friends. Snapchatters can now share where they are for up to 8 hours. This feature is a result of a partnership with Snapchat and the nonprofit It's On Us, which focuses on combating sexual assault on campuses. The company says it will reduce the risk of potential stalkers by placing a limit on the amount of time and with whom Snapchat users can share their locations.
And finally tonight, St. Patrick's Day is around the corner, which means it's time to grab a friend and enjoy a glass of that classic Irish-inspired beverage. Okay, well, we might not be thinking of the same one, but McDonald's has officially brought back its Shamrock Shake to U.S. restaurants.
That's right, and beginning today, the mint-flavored milkshake is also joined by an Oreo Shamrock McFlurry, a twist on the chain's ice cream dessert featuring mint flavoring and Oreo cookies. Both are available now for a limited time.
Now, Raygene, I love Shamrock Shakes. I got one yesterday.
Oh, really? Was it good?
It was delicious. You know, have you ever tried one?
No, I have not had one yet. I feel like I should definitely put it on my to-do list to try it now.
I think you definitely should. It's definitely the season to try one.
I feel like the Oreo mint will be good.
It sounds really good. That is all we have for you this Monday evening.
When TV2 is off the air, keep up to date on socials at Kent Wired and stay tuned for an all-new episode of Sports Corner. I'm Raygene English.
And I'm Elias. Have a great night, Portage County.
Can we get strawberries? Okay.